Hello everyone, my name is AruvaChan and you are watching me draw this girl right here. So I know you probably have noticed this right away, but I am using a different program today, and I recently have been getting into draw pile, and I've been doing draw piles with friends and stuff. So I was messing around on draw pile and I really liked how the tools felt, and I genuinely enjoyed how it felt when I drew on there, and I liked it a lot more than Photoshop, which I don't have anything set up for Photoshop right now. So Photoshop's just kind of like the tool I draw with. It's not really something I enjoy working with, which is why I don't do a lot of digital stuff anymore. Like if you see anything that I make now, it's all traditional, and that's only because I use Photoshop and I don't particularly like Photoshop. But this program I actually kind of enjoy. It reminds me a lot of Psy, it does remind me a lot of Psy, and that made me really happy because I'm currently on a Mac and I can't use Psy, and I can't figure out the parallel windows kind of thing, so that, kind of is out of the question. But that is not what I am talking about today. What I am talking about is something a lot more personal to me, a lot more of a thing that kind of affects me in my day-to-day life. I am talking about me, of course, being afraid of everything. Now, if this is the first video you're watching, you probably don't know me, you're probably like, okay, that's cool, I don't really care. Well, that's fine, but if you do know me, or if you've been a visitor to the Discord, you may occasionally see me, up in the middle of the night, or in the very early hours of the morning, saying, I heard something in my room, or I couldn't sleep because of this, this, or this. And maybe it's a thing where it's you're not supposed to eat sugar before you go to bed, or you'll have nightmares. I don't know. But I have extremely, what are they called? They're unjustified fears or something. I can't remember what they're called, but they're still irrational fears. They're called irrational fears. I have a lot of irrational fears. I remember when I was in middle school, I used to think I had a window that had a sort of lip, and then it would be the roof, and the roof was slanted, so I would occasionally leave the window open, and I was afraid that my cats would go out and stand on the roof and fall off. And I am very much a worrier, and it's very much shaped who I am. I'm afraid to do certain things because, one, I'll be embarrassed. I don't want to do it. I'm so embarrassed. But that stems from a fear of, being rejected or whatever. I'm not really meaning those kind of fears. I'm meaning super, super irrational fears. When I go into my basement, regularly to play video games, and the basement is connected through the garage. There's no other way to get in, and there's also a door down in the basement to just kind of walk in and out. It was its own apartment at one point before we bought it, which makes me nervous because I'm not afraid of somebody coming into the house through that door. I'm more afraid of there already being somebody in the house, along the lines of hey, I'm a ghost, or hey, I'm just some serial killer in your closet. I used to watch a lot of Forensic Files and those kind of shows, and Forensic Files is a big one because it would talk about the types of things people would do and how they would kill people, and it got to me, extremely got to me. And I love these kind of shows. I'm super interested in how all this kind of stuff works. I love hearing about, analyzing different, forms of DNA or how to do blah blah blah. I genuinely enjoy these kind of shows, and I I haven't stopped watching them because I do genuinely enjoy them. Like, I try not to let them affect me quite as much. Because if you do know me, I'm a huge baby. Everything is, somewhat of a deal to me. Whether it be a big or little deal, it is a deal. And I can't help that currently. I'm trying. I'm really trying. But, so, my irrational fears, I'm afraid of things that I cannot control. Like, for instance, if I did go down into the basement and there was somebody there, what would I do? And my brain starts ticking off these questions like tick, 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 like, oh, I'd probably have to, either A, run, B, try to find something to hit them, or C, scream, or like, and my brain runs down through these things, making me more nervous, and by the time I get to the room that has my video game system in it, I'm like shaking because I'm like, scared. That's one irrational fear. And if you've seen a few of my other videos, you've probably seen my graveyard stories videos. That's another really dumb thing I do. When I hang out with my friends, we go do stupid things in some crazy places. Like, the past summer, we all went to this one graveyard, and it was a terrifying, terrifying thing. And excuse the Dora on the screen. You probably weren't even looking at it, but I'm watching the speed paint right now, and I was looking up Dora stuff because we beat a dungeon in my D&D group. They were like, play congratulatory music. I was like, okay. But we do stupid stuff, like go to a graveyard in the middle of the night, like 1 or 2 to 3 in the morning, and just kind of hang out at the graveyard talking to the tombstones or whatever. Like, that's the kind of stupid stuff me and my friends do. Like, the last thing we did was we went to, there was this big old abandoned house, and apparently it was abandoned because it was some old person's house, and they died or moved away or got put in a nursing home or something. I don't remember. It was an old person, and it was abandoned at that point. So we were sitting in the driveway, and there's nothing. Like, it was probably like some farmer's house at one point, because there's fields literally surrounding us, and there's nothing. And you can see the house way off in the distance, and my brain, of course, ticked off the question of, hey, what if we see somebody out here? So I said that out loud, because it genuinely makes me feel better when I talk about my irrational fears to other people, because they're like, that'd be terrifying. That'd be really scary. And it's not all bad, because I have a sort of knack for spooky stuff. Like, if we were in a spooky situation, I would say, like, wow, this is where we would die in a horror movie, or this is where something would go wrong in a horror movie. And I genuinely am, like, very in tune with that kind of stuff. And it's not because I've seen that many horror movies, but I know, like, the stereotypical things that happen. Like, when we are in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the night, 2 middles, we are in the middle of the woods, in a mountain town, alone, by ourselves. We are very young, very small children, and every time we go out, we say stuff like, well, who would die first this time? Like, I feel like we would, like, be, there'd be an axe murderer right here, or, like, these kind of things. And genuinely, it does make me feel better, about these irrational fears. And the thing about the irrational fears is, when I don't have anybody to bounce these sort of things off of, to kind of get, like, somebody else's, like, hey, that couldn't happen kind of thing, they twist and distort in my mind, and I genuinely end up feeling so much worse when I'm thinking like, wow, wouldn't it be scary if a clown monster just popped out of my closet? And then I like walk past my closet and I'm like, hello? Is there anybody here? Like, please don't jump out and kill me. Like, those kind of things. They're the death of me, honestly. Like, it's such a waste of my time thinking about it, but at the same time, I can't stop myself from thinking about it until somebody says, well, that's dumb. Like, you shouldn't think of it like that. Think of it like this, or whatever. And, like, it's the more people I have in my life to tell me those kind of things, like, hey, wouldn't happen because I've got a gun, or whatever, like, no, that's never happened, but, those kind of things get me through scary situations. Like, I have friends where, they'll let me hold their hands, if I get scared, and half the time, it's, like, sort of like an adrenaline kind of thing, where you're not really scared, you're kind of scared, but it's, like, you're in a group, and it's not quite so scary, but, like, when I'm home alone, that's when my brain gets ticking, saying, did I lock the doors? Because there could be a murderer who comes in. Like, I've seen a lot of shows where it's like, the murderer just walked into the house because it was unlocked. Like, whoa. And that's what kills me. I have lots of these fears. And most of them are, you know, like, if it had happened to me once before, it would be rational. But none of this stuff has ever, like, helped me in any way. It's mostly just hindered me, because I would say, like, I would want to do something, but I'm scared. Like, I honestly, I never watched horror movies when I was little because they would terrify me. And I hadn't watched a horror movie until basically last year, where my friend was like, hey, I really want to watch this movie. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Can't do scary movies. Like, pretty much end of story. And he was like, well, just this one. Just come to this one. And, like, he kept telling me over and over again, like, come on, let's go to this one. It's not bad. It's not scary. Like, it'll be scary, but it'll be fun scary. And I was like, okay. I think the first movie I went to was The Purge. And I didn't want to go because I heard it was scary. And I went, and it was The Purge 3? Independence Day, I think? I don't know if that's the actual title, but I went to it, and I actually did when I go to movies, this is one of the reasons I don't go to movies very often, I talk to people. Like, if my friends are with me, which they always are, because I don't go to the movies unless I'm going with my friends. If I have a friend sitting next to me, I will, like, kind of whisper comments to him, or, you know, her or whoever's sitting next to me. It's usually a guy. I'll usually, like, whisper something to him, because I enjoy being snarky about stupid stuff. Like, if I think something in a movie is dumb, I'll kind of, like, lean over to my friend and say, like, wow, that was really dumb. And he'll, like, turn back and he'll say, like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you noticed that too. Like, those kind of things. And the entire movie, it wasn't scary for me. And I was really happy about that, because I like genuinely got interested in kind of scary movie stuff. And I'm not, you know, I don't watch scary movies on my own, because I know I can't handle that, but I'll watch them with friends. Now, the thing I do watch alone, which is even worse than the scary movies, because at least I can rationalize, well, that's stupid, Saw couldn't happen in real life because they'd probably find the person quickly or whatever. But the dumb thing I do by myself, which makes me even more scared and, like, makes me not able to sleep, is I watch those top 10 kind of videos. And if you haven't heard of those, they're like the Daily Motion kind of countdown videos from 10 to 1, or from 15 or 25 to 1. And I watch all different sorts of them, but what mainly get my focus are the mystery ones, like serial killers who have never been found, top 10 real-life ghosts, top 10 haunted places that you'd want to visit, top 10 scariest living creatures that you've never seen before. Like, if you get stung by this, you're going to die. Like, those kind of videos that really, like, kind of make me feel like, wow, this is really cool, like, really interesting. Probably shouldn't be watching them at 4 in the morning. I really shouldn't be. I'm very bad about that. I have no self-control when it's something I'm interested in. And I'm always interested in, like, unknown things. I just want to learn more. And, which is funny because I hated school when I was in it. I hated learning, and it was super boring, and I never paid attention. But, like, these videos, they can capture my attention. I don't even have to be doing anything. Like, normally when I'm watching a video, I have to be either, like, tapping on my phone or, like, playing Candy Crush or drawing a picture because I'm very, like, ADHD about that kind of stuff. Like, I have to always be moving. Like, right now, my arms are moving while I'm talking, so I keep, like, I'm staying focused, and I'm, like, looking outside my window because I need to, like, have constant attention grabbers, I guess. I don't know why that is. But, I'll watch those kind of things, and I won't even need to be doing anything. Like, I'll just be laying in my bed, and I'll be watching them on a laptop I have in the house. And it's very nice because it's sort of like downtime for me because my brain's moving at 100,000 miles an hour at every hour of every day. And when I'm watching those, I'm just soaking up. Like, I remember watching a video that was like top 10 missing people found by like Reddit or something. Like, those kind of videos are so interesting. Like, I know they're clickbaity, but I genuinely just love watching them. I genuinely do. I love watching them so much. And I can't help myself wanting to click on them. And I'm sure you probably know, if you've watched these videos, you probably understand. It's one of those things where you get memes from. Burger King foot lettuce was a meme that came from it. And it was a big meme. And it was not an enjoyable meme, but it was a funny meme. It came from one of those videos. And I genuinely, like, I can't stay away from those videos, which, when I watch those, I feel totally fine when I'm watching them, like, wow, this isn't scary at all. But as soon as I turn them off, I gotta, like, look around my house for the demons that could be standing in any corner, because it's very dark at night in my house. And, you know, it's funny, I saw a little girl standing in my living room, and I didn't have my glasses on. Like, it looked like Samora, I think that's what her name is, Samora from The Ring. And I saw her standing there. I was like, I didn't have my glasses on, so I stopped. I stood in place and I stared at her. And it was a chair. It wasn't even like anything. It was a chair. Like, I just couldn't see her. Like, I couldn't see it. And, like, that's the kind of stuff my brain conjures. Like, I can't sleep with the lights off because I get so scared. Like, I hear, like, in the middle of the night, and I'm like, what? Is there somebody going to kill me now? Just demons kill me now. And it's like my cat scratching in the cat box or whatever. Like, and it's like, it's painful almost because I can't get to sleep. And I end up sleeping until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon because by the time I go to sleep, it's daytime and it's safe. And I don't know why it's not safe in my room because I have a night light. Like, I've got those lights that you string up and are like, have lights. It's like Christmas lights that you string up and just kind of hang above your bed. That's what I have. And that's what I use to sort of cope with this terrifying fear of the dark and of things in the dark. Like, you ever have those when you close your eyes? I believe they're called the prisoner's cinema, where your eyes do go from like black to white and like they keep shifting. It's like that when I open my eyes in the dark. Like, I can constantly see things shifting in the dark, and my brain's like, well, of course that's a demon. Like, of course. Like, I don't believe in that kind of stuff, but my brain's like, well, yeah, you kind of do. It's like right in front of you. You're looking at it. Like, there's definitely a demon right there. And I have to literally stand myself up from my bed, or I have to pick up my phone from my bed and turn on my flashlight because it's like I feel like a little kid. I genuinely do. Like, I still haven't gotten over the nightmares. And it helps, like, when I have something or somebody sleeping in the room with me, because I feel like I'm not the only one in here, so I wouldn't be the only one to see it. Like, whenever I have sleepovers, I sleep really good because I have somebody laying next to me or, like, laying right near me where I can be like, oh, did you hear that? And they could be like, yes, it was the door. Like, what did the door, what? They're like, yeah, it does that. Like, okay, good night. Like 20 minutes later, like, are you awake? Like, but it genuinely makes me feel so much better having other people with me. That's why I don't like being alone. And it could stem from that. It could be my subconscious saying, you need to be around people right now. But I love how I'm trying to psychoanalyze myself. But I definitely think it's not great. And it's very, like, hindering on my ability to live. Because normal people go to bed at, 10 o'clock at night. And they wake up at 6 in the morning. Where I go to bed at 6 in the morning and wake up at 3 in the afternoon. And I know that's how I used to live when I was home for the summer in college. Like, I would go to sleep at 7 in the morning and I'd wake up at 3 in the afternoon, but I'd only do that, like, occasionally. And it definitely doesn't help that I don't have a job to, like, make me go to sleep. Like, this is my job currently, and I don't have, like, a set schedule. Like, I'm only making one video a week currently, and it doesn't take much to sit down and record. Like, I can do that at any time of any day because I don't have a schedule, and all of my friends are either out of town or they live very far away, so I don't have to, like, go and see them. And when I do get to see them, it's usually late afternoon to early morning. So I don't know, my schedule and my lifestyle does not help the fact that I can't go to sleep early. And maybe if I went to sleep earlier, I wouldn't have such a big problem with it. Like, it could be just like a I'm tired kind of thing. But I don't know. It's definitely something I need to overcome eventually, because I can't live like this forever. Like, maybe if I got, like, a dog to sleep in my bed with me, I wouldn't feel so bad. Because I do have animals living in my house with me. I have 2 cats and currently 2 dogs. So maybe if I get one of them to sleep with me, I won't feel so bad. Because, like, I don't know what it is about animals, is that if they are laying with you, it's sort of reassuring. Not as much as if a human was laying with me. But, like, if an animal is laying with me, I feel a little better because there's, like, a thing where animals can see, the unknown or whatever, ghosts. And they can warn me if a demon is in the room. Or I'm a little bit more afraid of, like, when I'm sleeping, there's going to be somebody coming into my room with, like, a knife. That's a big fear, like, somebody coming into my house. I'm like a dog. I'm afraid of people coming into my house. Like, I don't answer the door if I don't know the person. I don't answer the phone if I don't know the person. I won't talk to somebody if I don't know them personally, or if my family doesn't know them. I'm very, like, secure in my own self, but, like, wary of the world, sort of. I don't know. Weird times we live in. But I don't know if that's a sign of the times, being like, hey, you have all this information at hand where you can scare yourself, or you're just a scared person. Like, if I had lived on the farm in, 1902, back in the good old days, would I be so scared of the same things I'm scared of now? I'm gonna think probably not, because I don't have access to the things I have today. Like, every day you hear about a school shooting, or, somebody getting murdered, or, somebody breaking into somebody's house to steal drugs, or, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, so much bad. Maybe I just watch too much news. It's literally playing 24/7 at my house. But, I think that might be it. I watch too much bad news and not enough good news. Can definitely be hindering. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a mess. And eventually I'll figure that out. I'll figure it out and I won't be such a mess. I'll still be a mess, but I won't be quite as bad. You know? I just want to get better. And if talking it out makes it better for me, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's kind of what I'm doing now. Like, I know I'm rambling, and a lot of people probably came to not hear rambling, so I'm going to say sorry about that, but also at the same time, like, I know a lot of people come just to watch me do progress and just have me talk to them, so hello to those people. I'm really glad you guys are sticking around because you are my life support at this point. I absolutely love hearing when you guys draw with me, and I know it's something that I do, and I hope that, you know, the kind of stuff that I'm doing inspires you to do your own stuff, because that's amazing. That would be amazing and make me feel super good. Super good. And I know, like, it doesn't matter what I say or what I talk about in these videos because you'll listen anyway, which is nice. But I hope that you do connect sort of to these. I know it's a little weird what I talk about. Like, I'm not talking about normal art stuff. Like, people will talk about what's the best art supplies to use and what's a good technique. No, I'm not talking about any of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about personal, real life me. And I'm really glad that you guys enjoy that. Anyway, here's some fan art. There isn't that much this week, but it's still more than I've ever gotten in my entire life. So thank you guys so much for checking me out, and thank you for staying this long if you have. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!